Okay, so it's been a shift. Okay, so we moved from the Aquarius vibes to the Gemini vibes. Okay, because the Gemini, the shit is coming through strong as a bitch. Okay, so my Venus is in Gemini. Okay, so which is kind of, like Geminis are like catalytic to the example of what I look for in relationships. But you know, it's more so of the characteristics of the Gemini. The number one thing that I like in my relationships is space and freedom. Okay, so I mean, but at the same time, I'm a Cancer sun, and I have a lot of Pisces and some very spiritual, strong placements. Okay, so I have Cancer in communication, and I have Cancer in my Chiron. So with having Cancer and Mercury, Gemini is Mercury. So Mercury hates Cancer. The Mercury, it hates the Cancer being in that position because Geminis are straightforward. They're straight to the point. They rule the planet of communication and Virgo. So I have a Virgo moon. Okay, so it's kind of like Venus and the moon are best friends. Okay, so with having the two signs that represent that rule Mercury, that rule communication, is like it's best friends. So I mean, what's up? My dad is a Gemini. My aunt is a Gemini. I'm a Gemini Venus. My cousin is a Gemini. You know, what's up? What do they want to know? Cause we switching over. We switching over to that shit just happened. It's somebody came in and smacked my ass last night. somebody, somebody ancestor, somebody spirit guys came and smacked the shit out of me last night. They fed me. It's like wake up, girl. So okay. So I mean, I don't know what are we supposed to talk about? What are we supposed to do? I'm at a loss. I don't know what's going on. Come on, Anubis. You supposed to know what's going on. Whatever. I think somebody is a shaman. Okay. So, but I have a feeling this person doesn't like animals. They like animals, but they don't want the responsibility. I understand. But the thing is that I feel like you're going to be communicating with animals. You're going to notice some strange behavior. You may even notice how certain animals are attracted to you. Okay, so now the thing is that don't ignore the shit, because you gonna get something that come up to you that's gonna scare you, and you gonna know that's your ancestors or your spirit guides. Your ass gonna be walking, and it's a goddamn snake following your ass, and you gonna find a snake or some type of reptile in your house or something. Okay. So I don't know why I pick up something about Australia. In Australia, they kind of be having all type of situations going on with animals, and it's more exotic animals. Them insects be big as a bitch out there too. Well, I don't know. Let me figure it out because it's not coming through. So, I was sitting here reflecting because, I've been doing like a lot of head work, you know, like I've been taking care of my head. And I'm just like, of course, I was being intentional with clearing my crown and just protecting, honoring my crown. So I did a head treatment. I did a steam, to lock in the moisture. Then I took my braids out and I redid them. You know, it's real. Well, I mean, I don't know. So let's just talk about. I'm just talk about my experiences. My best friend, she was a Gemini. Okay. We fell out though. She got with this guy. This guy was no good. And he just did something to her. I don't know. She wouldn't open up. She wouldn't talk to me about it. I don't know. But I mean, I found out later on that she had slept with this guy. She had got with this guy. It's always a fucking man. So, I had met this guy. We went to school. We all went to school together. So, when I told her about him, I was real excited about this guy. So, she tells me, oh, well, he like girls like me. She's black and Puerto Rican. So, I'm just like, my thing is, I already knew that he liked exotic women because I had seen his baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, shit, he chose me. What the fuck? Maybe he want to do something different. So, when she said that, I ain't paying no mind. But then I was just like, well, that's not something a friend's supposed to say. So, I mean, so then I start observing, her behavior because I'm kind of like, what is it about this guy to where she's, really trying to discourage me from like talking to him or whatever. So I guess she liked him and she ain't want me to talk to him, but she ain't say that. So I talked to him. He's like, I never talked to that girl. He was like, I never talked to her, like trying to get to know her, trying to date her. He was just like, I know who you talking about, but no. So I said, you know what, y'all, it's something fucked up about both of y'all. So he was a Capricorn, but he had a Libra moon. Okay, because I'm just like, the two of them are highlighting things. They're highlighting things, like me dealing with him is triggering her in some kind of way. Me telling him about her is triggering him. I said, something went right. But like years later, they ended up getting together and hooking up. So that was kind of like God telling me, I think I was supposed to bring them together. You know, cause I mean, me and that dude, that shit won't gonna work. You know, it won't gonna work. But he was the only guy in a long time that I had a crush on. That I was attracted to. But at the same time, he reminded me too much of my son's father. So my son's father is a Libra with a Gemini moon. Okay. So I'm gonna say it right now. No more Libras. No more Libras. No more Libras. My mother was a Libra. He a Libra. No more Libras. You know. I like Libras, but it's like once Libra let people steal their beauty, it's like it's over. Libra is goddess energy. It's above many. But you know, some Libras, they really want to be accepted. So, and they want to be likable, you know what I'm saying? So they'll just, it's like they be letting the world affect them, you know. A strong Libra, you know, they fiercely hold on to the beauty within them, and they deal with a lot of jealousy, and they deal with a lot of hate from other people. They rule beauty. One thing I will say though, they not really balanced though. They do represent balance. I feel like the evolved Libra, yes, very balanced. You know, yes, but it's a lot of them. It's rare. It's rare. It's really rare that, you know, it's like the Libra that survives the world. It's rare. It's not often. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when that Libra has conquered, you know, and maintained their beauty. And you know, Taurus is Venus too, and Taurus is beauty too. But you know, Libra is something very sensual. It's something dark, you know, about Libra. It's like they're beautifully dark, you know, dangerously beautiful, we'll say. You know what I'm saying? But we supposed to be talking about the Gemini. But my friend, you know, I mean, she was a Gemini. She was funny. I was like, why is she, why is she acting like that? I was like, she must really like him. So, but my thing is, when they got together, they trauma bonded through talking shit about me. So I was like, damn, you know. Like I said, it just wasn't meant to be. There is a guy. I just don't want. I'm trying to avoid. I'm being so childish. I'm being so childish because right. Okay, so I used to belong to a conscious environment, you know. And there was a bookstore. It was a vegan cafe too. And, you know, I met this guy there. There was a young guy that I had dealt with there. And he was absolutely terrible. He was absolutely terrible. I think he was down low though. When I thought about it, I was just like, man, it's too many signs of that man being down low. I think he was down low. And the way I was acting and behaving towards him, those are the type of men, those are the type of women that the down low men will choose. But I couldn't understand why I was behaving that way. But when we actually got together and connected and spent like the day together, you know, he started to see, I think he could tell I was going to figure him out. So he ghosted me. Okay, so he was a Leo, but he was a Gemini Venus too, like me. Okay, so he was Capricorn and Libra, but he had a Leo sun. So so at the, you know, I saw him again. I didn't even talk to him. I act like I didn't even know him because I couldn't believe his ass. But I ended up meeting another guy, an older gentleman, and he was a Gemini, and I had told him about what happened because he knew the guy. So, you know, they were Moors. So, you know, they knew each other. From the time I met this guy, I just loved his approach to everything. Because when I told him what that guy did, because it was real heavy on my heart. You know, this dude, he was just like, oh, he was just like, I can't believe he would do something like that to you. He's terrible. You are so precious. And that shit just took away the heavy for me. You know, and the way he delivered it to me, it was so light. It just touched my heart in a light way. And in that moment, I let that shit go. I was like, damn, what was that? So, so right away he captivated me. I was just so in awe, and he was just so friendly. And it was just so comfortable, you know? And there was a situation to where we were in the store, and there was a guy that he knew, and he's just like, man, that's who you're with. He was like, man, she fine, she this, she that. Now we weren't like that. That never even came up between us. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that. So when that guy said that, I was just like, oh, always got some asshole making some shit awkward. Because at first I didn't even know if I was attracted to him. You know what I mean? When I meet great people, I try to keep them in my life. The best way to do that is to establish friendships. Sometimes the romance aspect of things be fucking up these really great relationships, these really great connections. So yeah, it was definitely there for me, but at the same time, I'm just like, I want to keep him. So, I put all of that shit out of my mind. He was just amazing. It's like his ideas. He had so many ideas, and he was so creative. And it's like he had a builder's mind, because he always wanted to know what I was working with. It was never about, oh, you gotta go out and get this, you gotta go out and get that. He's always trying to figure out what I can use that I have around me. Because we were talking about some business ideas, and that's another thing. I thought we were going to do business together. So I'm just like, well, I definitely not fucking it up. I can get a friend and I can get a business partner, like no romance shit. I really don't want to fuck this up. But when we went to the convenience store and the guy said what he said, he opened the shit up. I said, man, that's his ancestors doing that. That won't mine. That was his. So, I'm looking to see what he gonna say, and he was just like, yeah, she is hot, ain't she? So I was just like, oh, that was real smooth the way he did that. That was real smooth how he did that. So it's like, okay, well, now I know that he's attracted to me. And even though he feels the attraction to me, he's very light with me. He's very friendly. So, but after that, I couldn't let it go. It's, like, it's just like this heat just kept building inside of me, and he was real good with eye contact. Like, he's always looking me dead ass in my eyes. And then it's like all this heat coming from behind his eyes, and he's just talking and talking and talking. after a while, after a while, I ain't hear shit coming out his mouth. This heat within his eyes is intriguing me and pulling me in, because it's just like he talking, but he talking to me. He talking to me with his eyes. He need to shut up. He need to shut up and pull me in. So, then I found myself saying, I was just like, damn, I wish he would kiss me right now. Ooh, I wish he would kiss me. Ooh, I wish he would kiss me. Because it's like the heat was pulling us closer. But I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. You talking about dip? You talking about dip? That brother was dip. His ancestors came in there and shook that shit up. I was like, woo, yeah. That Gemini energy be magical. You know what I'm saying? It do. It's in a very witty. It's very witty. You know. And sometimes when they be mad, it be hard. Sometimes it be hard to take them serious because the shit be funny. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's about how you express yourself. You know, Geminis are they can be very expressive, so you know that should be funny too. You know, but when somebody's upset, you know, you can't laugh in their face. So, you know, my son's father be doing that shit. I be like, you know, I be having to hold it in because you know, for one, he be trying to argue about stupid shit. I just be like, bruh, I'm not arguing about no dumb shit. You can have it. You can have it. You won. That's the Aries in him. Ugh, my goodness. He's so he's so goddamn heady. That's why I do a lot of head work too. Okay? Somebody may have been dealing with an Aries. It may have been real heady, right? Yeah. It's like you just want to talk and be civil. You know what I'm saying? Like we can be civilized and we can talk. You know, it don't have to be so dramatic. It don't have to be so loud, you know, because I'm trying to find mutual understanding in a situation. We not going to get there if it's too combative and it's all this drama. We not going to get there. Like, I love you. I care about you. Like, I want to make it work. I want to settle this. So tonight when we rest in peace. We rest in love. You know, we it's for you. We go to we lay down with forgiving hearts. But it's like some people are just uncivil, and then it's like they're so abusive, and the monkey mind just be jumping all over the place. It's like you have to come outside of yourself and stoop to this person's level in order for them to understand. And then it's just like that's not even me. But it's like you're so barbaric. That's what you understand. I we shouldn't have to do it like this, you know. But anyway, that's dealing with that Gemini moon. That should be funny. That should be funny because he be switching. He's always. Whew, child, I be doing so much mental work up in here because he be so conflicted. And the thing is that his energy is so intense. The air in here gets thick. He be back there on his computer. He be back there on his computer, and he be in that head. It's just like thick ass tension, just be suffocating the atmosphere. You know, I'd be like, brother, you need to take a break. Go for a walk. You need to work on your mental health, you know. Like, what you back there doing? So, I mean, now the thing is that my son's father is very airy, right? But he has a Scorpio Venus. And I have a lot of water too. Now, I love my Gemini Venus because that should be keeping me detached, right? But you know, Gemini is the least emotional, but some Geminis are very emotional, and people don't know that. But you know, Cancer is the most emotional. You know, so I understand his confliction. Like through him, through him, this is where I be learning, and this is how I be doing my self reflection. You know what I'm saying? Because I be trying to judge him a lot of the times, but I just be like, man, I be going through the same shit, but I just do it in a different way. And see, this is what helps grow me, and it keeps me humble. Because at one point in time, we used to hate each other. He's still not a good friend. You know, our relationship, we have got it to a point to where we have an understanding that this is a situation and that we're here for our son. We want to be mature adults, because I'm going to tell you, you always got that one bitter one that want to make the other person life hell. That was going to be him. I said, okay, well, since you don't want me to leave so bad, and you gonna try to make my life hell, then you gonna take care of me, and I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure out my life, cause one way or another, you gonna try to get me. And I didn't want to take him for child support. I could have, but he was my friend. He was going through a hard time. I understood why he hated me, because I left him to be with somebody else. I left him to be with an Aquarius. Oh my goodness. mm, 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 mm. Oh my goodness. So, I understood. Then when I was pregnant, we didn't know if the baby was his. I had took him through some stuff. So, I'm just like, all right, I get it. I'm not a good woman. I'm a bad girl out here. But after that relationship with that Aquarius, that shit humbled the fuck out of me, because who did I have? Who was the only person I had to go to? It was him. And he let me in. He made that shit hard. But whatever, shit. That shit is long gone past. We done got over some hurdles. It just got to a point to where it's just like, we understand. You know, we understand what it is. But he sucks sometimes as a friend, because, I don't have no room. I don't have no space of my own. So, I mean, he purchased the garage for me, so I go out there, but in the summertime it'd be too hot. I got to get a generator to fully, really be out there. But I be out there when I can. The wintertime it'd be too cold. You know what I'm saying? But in the in-between times, I do take advantage to be out there, because I do utilize that space. But I don't have no room. Like, I sleep in the living room. He sleep in his room. And I mean, he get upset because I got like wigs and shit around the house. Because I don't have nowhere to put it. You know, when he got this place, we weren't together. It was just him and my son. I fell on hard times. For a while, I was back and forth between Norfolk and Richmond. So when I finally decided that I was going to come home, he had bought this place. He got this place, but then I ended up going to North Carolina to live with my mother. So then we came right back here. I have been trying to, I tell people all the time, man, I try to get away from this man for so long. It just, you know, God was just like, you got to grow out of here, girl. You cannot run. But God, he told me why. He told me why, because I'm being prepared. I have been being prepared for years for who I'm supposed to be with. I have been being prepared for years. I said, this man must be fucking special. Because why am I going through all of these changes? Why am I going through all of this? I was a wild girl. I love living my life. I was powerful out there. I had me 2 cars. I was having 2 jobs. I was working all over the place. I enjoyed being a family woman. I would dress all the time. I was here, I was there, I was out there doing shows, singing at open mics. I was in the studio. I was working. I was doing it. But I was a bad girl, because I felt like, man, I'm fucking powerful, bitch. I can fuck with whoever I want to. When your ass ain't acting right, I'm going over here. Best believe. So I had a little, and every time my son's father would upset me, I'm just like, well, I can find somebody else to make me happy, because, I was young and childish though, you know. So that's the way that I was thinking. I was just, I want a good girl. I want a good woman. I was very toxic. Very toxic. So, I mean, whatever. I've come a long way. I've come a long way. Mm. So, and he has been a part of my journey, and he has been a catalyst, you know. So I appreciate him in that sense. He still need to work on being a better friend, but whatever. So anyway, getting back to this guy. So finally we ended up breaking the ice, and from there it was just, it was love. He was so intimate. Like he crawled, he sat on my lap. He sat on my lap, and he was like, he would, the clothes he would wear, he would wear like robes and shit. So you never saw what his body looked like. So, when he took that robe off, it was like pow, like he's I was like, damn, he looked like Superman. He his body big, he got them big arms, he got that big chest. I was just like, oh, okay. So, he had told me, I believe he had been to jail. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like he found, he built on himself, and he told me about building on his mind, and focusing in, and learning about his mind and all this type of stuff. He was very conscious. He wasn't really spirited, but he loved spiritual women, So I mean, he broke down. He told me about issues with his mom. He was sitting on my lap. I was like, oh, he's so cute. And I'm talking about, I think I was like 32. I believe he was 42 at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, this is real nice. This is different. I don't get this from men. And he was, I said, I don't get this from black men. You know, now the funny shit is that when it was my time to deal with my feelings and emotions, he couldn't take it. He was like, He said, oh, Asian ass. He gonna say, I don't have time to deal with this. I'm always I'm always dealing with other people's feelings, other people's problems. I'm like, nigga, you full of shit. I said, nigga, you full of shit. I said, because if that was the case, then when you get the opportunity to open up to somebody else about what's going on with you, then, you going to, you going to give it back. You going to give it back because you understand how everybody coming to you. And then it's kind of like when you meet somebody that you could come to, they should be able to confide in you too. That's who you should want to confide in, is the person who's given to you. Out of all the people that's draining your ass. Where's my lip gloss? So I'm just saying. I started laughing. I said, that nigga ain't I said, man, that nigga ain't shit. And I'm going to tell you, right? So the same night that, we were intimate with each other, we had sex with each other, he stole a ring. He stole a ring from the shop, and he gave it to me, and he said that we was married. He asked me to marry him. So I said, okay. So to celebrate the marriage, we went to the beach. And when we went to the beach, we ran into some young people, and he all happy and enthusiastic. Them little thugs. I was like, they out here at night hiding, freaking at the beach. And I said, you sit up here, you interrupting them. I didn't know what he was thinking. I was just like, this is supposed to be our moment. I understand you want to share it with other people, but you do not know these kids. Like, I pick up, I was picking some stuff up, and he trying to be all optimistic and all happy and shit. I'm just like, I can't wait to go. His discernment is off. He did not discern the situation at all. So so then we went to the Waffle House. We got something to eat. He was just he was just so fucking happy. Like, he gonna put his feet up on the chair. And he was just so silly. He was so silly. He was being rude though. I was like, calm down, cause you being rude. I didn't know what was going on with him. It was just like, it's like four people. It was it was like four people. It's like, I'm just like, whoa, like, what's going on? He was switching in and out. I was just like, damn, are these some of his ancestors coming through him? I said, well, wow, everybody is, I couldn't process it right then and there. I couldn't process it then. And I wasn't as aware as I am now. I was like, wow, his whole spirit family is happy to meet me. It was overwhelming. I got so annoyed. I got so annoyed. I got so annoyed. I got annoyed at breakfast. But I was just like, well, this is my wedding reception, so I don't want to be upset. So I did my best. I was like, I'm ready to fuck, because he started to get on my nerves. So, we ended up going to a hotel, and we ended up, you know, what do they call it? Solidating the marriage. What is it? I don't know. Something like that. Okay, so then I ended up going home after. So the next morning, it just felt like something shifted, and I wanted to talk to him, and then he was just like, oh no, oh no, I I said, nigga, you ain't shit. I don't want to deal with anybody's problems, anybody's feelings or emotions, you know. Right, but we just got married. We just got married last night. I was like, man, that nigga full of shit. But that was an experience. I knew that one was supposed to be. I knew that one was supposed to be. I said, I don't think that was him. I don't know who that was that came through him. It's like somebody visited him or something. It felt like it was about me. Like, I don't know. He just switched. I said, funny as hell, man. So, I like that, right? I think it's fun. It's to me, that's like, it's friendly. That's not romantically something that I want. And this is what I'm saying, the contradiction within me, the confliction. I like the detachment. I like the light. I like the friendly. But with having the water, all the water signs, it's just like, I want the romance. I want the love. I want the emotions. You know. So, so I said, oh God. You know. Wow. But I mean, I think that was the only Gemini. I don't think I That was the only memorable one. You know how it's just some people in your life that it's some people in your life you'll never forget that you met. You know. Um, Now, when I saw him later on in life, he was not the same. He was not the same. I don't know what happened to him, but you could definitely tell like his spirits were broken. It was just kind of too sad for me to see. And I think the both of us were, it's like we we remember that night, and we remember each other in that energy, but there was this avoidance between us reconnecting. But there was a lot of respect. We had respect for each other. So it's kind of like we just kind of swept some of the shit under the rug. We didn't have time to talk about it because he was at work. It wasn't a setting to where I could talk to him. So, you know, I have a problem. I do have a problem in that way. Because if I'm in a relationship, if I choose, some relationships you cannot choose, but you can choose who you want to be with. And I mean, if I choose somebody, I want to be lovey dovey. Yes, I like space and I like the detachment, but I like to be all up in it too. I like to be kind of clingy too. I like to be mushy and I like to be open. You know, I don't want somebody well, I want somebody who's going to be honest. Like if it's too much, say something. But at the same time, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I want you I want let me be me. But how am I going to know if it affects you if you don't communicate? You see, this is the confliction. This is the shit. Cuz it's really be going back and forth about it's about me instead of it's about us. Right? So that is the selfishness within me. That is the selfishness, you know. Mm. I'm tired. I feel like whenever I get with a man, it has to be all about him. I want a cat. I want a cat. And I don't want to get with somebody who don't like animals. Now I can't have a cat. If I live by myself, I get to have everything that I want. I get to live how I want. Ooh. I feel like if I live with somebody else, I'm gonna be living their life. And of course, if I'm in love with them, of course I want to share their life. But when do I get to start living for myself? Like I've always. Ooh, somebody's talking to me. I don't understand what you're trying to say. Ooh. I feel like it's something I don't want to hear, but I can't hear it. But I know it's something I don't want to hear. because it has something to do with, somebody is telling me that I need to trust, but I want a cat. I don't want his ass telling me he don't want no animals. I want a cat. I want a couple. Mm. Oh, I have the right to be selfish. I've made so many sacrifices. All I want is a cat. Ooh. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. I can't have a cat. Ooh. I think you're trying to tell me I can't have a cat. I want a bobcat. That's not what you're telling me. That's what they're trying to tell me. It's like a question, like, is your desire for a cat more than being with me? Ugh. And this oh, he's making me think about my behavior. He's making me think. Is that something I have to accept? Ooh. And see, it just starts to trigger. It just starts to trigger other stuff. This is why I don't like. I don't like being under somebody else's control. Ugh. But secretly, I'm still out of control. So I need. He's confronting me. Ooh, he's confronting me. uh, all right. Okay, I can let it go. Let's just let it go. Just let it go. So the thing is that if that is the case, and it's like somebody wants more, they want more from me, then is this a crush? Okay. Is he a Gemini? He's not a Gemini. Who? So why did Gemini come up? Whatever, cause y'all lying. Y'all lying. Y'all tricking me, cause y'all trying to surprise me. Y'all lying. You know I don't need them damn cars. Trying to trick me. He a Gemini. Woo. Okay. I'm done. There's so much pressure behind my eyes now. I feel like I'm ready to go to sleep. Okay.